This is Fowl Players Radio, your podcast for arts, entertainment, and pop culture. Welcome. My name is Michael Spedden, your host. Every episode features fun, fascinating stories about people in the performing arts, actors, authors, dancers, writers, musicians, athletes, you name it. Folks who are center stage, backstage, on camera, or behind the scenes. Sit back and listen. Let's have some fun. Fowl Players Radio is a proud production of the Fowl Players Group and the official podcast of the Fowl Players of Perryville.
Hi, folks. This is Jay David, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Hey, you guys, this is Gina Shock, drummer of the Go-Go's. Woohoo! And you are listening to Fowl Players Radio. And I hear this fellow Mike is from Dundalk. How about that? We have a lot in common.
Hello, my name is Gunhild Carling, and you are listening to Fowl Players Radio, and I am interviewed here, so tune in.
Hey, this is Brian Damage from Kicks and Rhino Bucket, and you're listening and watching Fowl Players Radio.
Hi, this is Kathy Ladman, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio, the place where you get all of your good news information. Not really, but it's just a great show.
And folks, welcome back to another episode of Fowl Players Radio. Michael Spedden here, your host. We had Pillbox come back. Pillbox was with us a couple of years ago, and they came back tonight. We had Adam Crouse and Eric Redelius come back to tell us about some new material they have coming out, some upcoming shows, and we had a great time just talking, reminiscing, shooting the breeze about the music scene and how things were and how things are now and how things are post-pandemic, and we really had a good time catching up, and I think you'll enjoy this episode with them too. I will be sure to put in the show notes the link to their band website and all the links to where you can buy their original material. They have some great new songs out and everything, and just be sure to check it out and give them a little bit of love. Remember, there's a lot of great local bands out there to support. Hello, listeners. We at Fowl Players Radio thank you for all of your support over the past 10 seasons and nearly 300 episodes. We would like to encourage you to keep listening and spread the word. Audio versions of all episodes can be found on our main website, fowlplayersradio.com, as well as on many of the other platforms you can see here. You can find all of our Season 9 and 10 episodes, as well as some best-of episodes and shorts on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@fowlplayersradio. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to get alerts when new episodes are released. No matter what platform you choose to listen, you can help us greatly by hitting the subscribe button and giving us an honest review. You can also help us by supporting us at patreon.com/foulplayersradio or at buymeacoffee.com/foulplayerw. Your support makes it possible for us to continue to be your one-stop shop for all of your pop culture needs. Be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for new episode announcements and news and updates on all of our guests. Thank you, and enjoy this episode. The Fowl Players of Perryville Murder Mystery Company is starting a brand new season in May of 2023. Our first show will be The Answer Is Murder and will be performed on the Western Maryland Scenic Railroad, 13 Canal Street in Cumberland, Maryland on Saturday, May 6th. Tickets are available at WMSR.com. On Friday, May 12th, we will be performing at Fifth Company Brewing at 325 Front Street in Perryville, Maryland, and the show will be called Foul Play. Tickets are available at fifthcompanybrewing.com. On Mother's Day, May 14th, we have a matinee show, Curse of the Scroll on Maryland Party Boat, 1901 Old Eastern Avenue in Essex, Maryland. Tickets are available at marylandpartyboat.com. For more information on upcoming shows and the rest of the season, www.fowlplayersofperryville.com. If you are looking for entertainment for a gala, fundraiser, office party, or for any old reason, please consider the Fowl Players of Perryville. We have murder mystery shows for all occasions. We can be reached at foulplayersperryville@yahoo.com or 443-600-0446. And folks, welcome back to another episode of Fowl Players Radio. Coming back to see us again for the second time is Pillbox. Pillbox is a Manta Ray Records artist, and they have Adam Crouse on bass, Karis Johnson on drums, Eric Redelius on guitar. So great to see you again, fellas.
Hey man, what's happening?
Good to see you. So you've got
Yes,
some
sir.
so you've got some new material coming out. You've got some shows coming up. Tell us the good news, guys.
Still here. Yeah, we're still here. We're still doing it, and that's good news just in itself, you know. Because you know how these things can be.
Oh
But
yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, we take nothing for granted. But we have well, let's see. We have 2 shows coming up this weekend. One of them in Pennsylvania at the Racehorse Tavern. That's on Friday night, and the following night we're in Maryland down at a place called Frankie's. That's 3 sets because as well as doing original material, we also have 3 sets of covers, so we can, we just like to play, and it doesn't always have to be just original music, and that's Saturday night that we do the 3 set. The Friday night gig at the Racehorse, that's an hour set, and it's going to be we'll probably mix it up with about half original, maybe do half covers, and then excuse me, and then let's see, and then after that, I guess we have April. Yeah, we're shooting video on the 8th, and our new single called "In It" that is being released worldwide through Manta Ray on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. For that one, on the 13th, I think it is. Yes, and then that following week, we also have another gig. That's a full night in Maryland, in Westminster, at a place called Stables, which is a pretty big room, pretty nice A room to play in there. And we may have a guest guitarist. We don't know yet. He said if he was available, he'd come out, but we'll see what happens there. From what I understand, he might be going to some Gibson factory in LA or something of that nature. But and that is a guy he's jammed with us before, a guy named John Christ from Danzig. He played with us last summer for a set, and it was a lot of fun, and we had a good time. And so he may do it again. We're not real sure what's going on. You guys, there's his guitar tech right there behind me, Eric.
That's my claim to fame. Not that I'm a guitar player for Pillbox, but I'm John Price's tech.
Yeah.
But we also have some more shows after that. We have a couple of nights in May that are back to back, and it's just a lot of things that are going on. And this is just stuff off the top of my head. We're still writing and we're still recording, and we have a lot of things coming out in the future that's really kind of exciting for us, I would have to say.
Oh, good to hear. It's good to hear that you're able to get out there again, and the doors are open now for a lot of places, especially after this huge pandemic we've gone through that really knocked a lot of things on its rear end. And it was really a chance for us to kind of regroup, I think, in a lot of ways, to get some new material written just to be ready for when things open back up. And it really looks like things have opened back up, and I'm seeing new venues. I'm seeing people coming out with new material, and I guess it was a good time out. It was bad money wise, but it was good, I guess, a chance to really kind of go back to the drawing board.
Well, I'll tell you, man, we played a gig about a week and a half ago at a place called Zen West in South Towson there.
Used to be Gators, didn't it?
I don't know that it did. Zen West is in South Towson, North Baltimore City, right there.
Yeah, it's near the Senator, right?
Okay, he knows what's up. So, but yeah, we played there, and I tell you what, all these bands that I'm seeing now that are playing out, they were not around before this pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And the bands that I used to play with before the pandemic seem to be gone. So it's a whole new crop of I don't know about musicians. Maybe they've just dissolved some of their bands and come together and form new acts and whatnot. I don't know, but like you say, it was probably a big break for everyone. People took some time, decided what they wanted to do music wise, but it's definitely changed. And
Mhm.
for some reason, I feel like there are twice as many bands now as there were pre-pandemic. It's just like I'm dumbfounded. I was like, "Pow, man!" It
Mhm.
all just hit me. Pow, pow, pow. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
could be a lot of reasons for that. I mean, I think part of it could be just being, shut in and not being able to do anything. I guess maybe people sort of could have put together bucket lists. I mean, are these like younger people that you're seeing that are just getting out there, or are they like
some
the
are.
old
We
the old
played.
crew like us?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, when we played in Zen West, there was the first opening act was a 17-year-old girl. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And strumming her guitar and playing. She had a band, but they were all very young. So yes, so some of that is happening as well. Some up and
Hmm.
comers, I'd say, that maybe got their thing together during the downtime and are now coming out. But it's been different, that's for sure. It's been
Hmm.
different. A lot of bands we're playing with now, like I say, I haven't heard of them. Actually, one of the bands we're getting ready to play with at the Racehorse on Friday, it's a Godsmack tribute band, and pre-pandemic, the bass player from that band, he was in a different band that we played with up at Bar 13. So yeah, and they dissolved during that pandemic, and he got back with something else now. So yeah, so some of it's oh, that's another gig we have. When is Bar 13? Do you know when that one is? I think that's April. Bar 13. That's up in Wilmington, Delaware. We have that also. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, but so yeah, man, we've seen a lot of effects of, at least I know I have, of this whole entire pre-pandemic, pandemic, post-pandemic era that we have all had to live through.
Hmm.
Very interesting at that,
No, it sure is. It sure is. On the acting side of it, it's been really interesting too.
Uh-huh.
You have to have, I mean, you have to have all your shots, first of all, to be able to work. And then they make you take all these COVID tests and everything before you show up on set. Um, my wife just booked a pilot to a TV show. She booked some commercials and a print job. And my God, they test the hell out of you to make sure that you don't have that. Even nowadays, coming on, people that are vaccinated and making sure they're testing negative before they show up. I mean, so I guess it hasn't entirely gone away yet, but I think it's to the point now where it's not like it was. People are able to kind of stand up to it, and you're not hearing
Yeah.
about the deaths, as we were, which is a good thing. So hopefully we'll be back to 100% normal, but I think we're probably at around 90% now anyway.
I would
And I
think
guess,
so.
yeah.
I mean, we just started trying to get back into Baltimore City to play since they
Hmm.
lifted the mandates, and actually Zen West was like our first like Baltimore City show since then, because it was tough to get people who, because we live out of Baltimore County. We're outside of Baltimore County, and around some of these areas, it was a little different than we're a little more rural than down in Baltimore,
Hmm.
and it was tough to get people to come down because they just they didn't want to deal with it.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to wear masks because of that. Out here, I'll have to say, there really wasn't, in some of these rural areas and some of these other clubs and bars and shops and stores and whatnot. They were a little more loose than the more crowded, urban areas, city
Hmm.
areas.
Is it Carroll County that you're in?
Yes, Carroll County.
Okay, sure, yeah.
About 2 miles over the Baltimore County line.
Oh yeah, so you're probably like what, Finksburg or something?
I'm in Hampstead, if you know
Oh,
where.
Okay, you're farther north. Okay,
A
sure.
little further north, yeah.
Right, right. That's some nice country out there. And yeah, well, the thing was that people aren't as concentrated out there anyhow. So, and I'd be probably willing to bet if you looked at the numbers, the spread just wasn't as bad out there. So, it's when you get all these people concentrated together is really where the spreading was going on there. So Eric, how are things going with you, bud?
Things are good. I'm just plodding along. Any day above ground's a good day.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, I tell you, it's getting to be I've been seeing a lot of guys in our age group, and I'm talking, I mean, I'm over 50, and I'm, been hearing about a lot of sad things in, guys that we used to play with. It seems like we're losing people here. Have you noticed that? I've been just seeing a lot of that on Facebook and stuff. And it's a shame. It's sobering too, but it's a real
Sobering, yeah,
shame
that's
as
what
well.
I was going to say. Sobering, just
Yeah.
to know that these are our contemporaries, people that we went to school with, we grew up with, and may have played in bands with. The band I was with in the '90s, Thing One, there's only two of us left.
Mm-hmm.
There was four guys in the band. A singer passed away in 2008 or 2009, and then the drummer just died of a heart attack last year.
Mm.
And it's just it's definitely makes you take stock in what you have, and you learn to count your blessings and realize that life's fragile, and it's nothing's guaranteed, and we make the best of what we got, and we try to be thankful for what we have and the people around us, and make connections. And that's be grateful for it.
Absolutely. It really kind of inspires in me and a number of other people I've spoken to. Just do it now. If you have something you want to do, something's inside you that you need to create, do it now. Do it now. Tomorrow's never guaranteed,
That's right. Yeah. What John Lennon said, life's what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And I think God's favorite joke is, what are you doing tomorrow? Yeah, that's another one too. So you've got some shows coming up, which is, it's good to get out again and be performing. Yeah, and I guess people are starting to come out again, as you were saying, getting good crowds and everything. Have you noticed? Are people? It seems like Baltimore, especially in the Baltimore area, has kind of gone in and out of favor, or original bands have kind of gone in and out of favor here. How are you, or when you're doing your sets of originals and things like that? How's that going? I mean, do you tend to, with the crowds around here, do you tend to draw more with the covers, or are they appreciating what you're doing?
I think the people appreciate the originals. We tend to get more feedback from people in the audience about our original music. However, the gigs that get booked are the cover gigs, because
Yeah.
people want to hear the same song, what songs they know, and that's understandable too. We don't mind playing covers. We certainly definitely like the appreciation for the originals, though.
Mhm.
It's just, it doesn't seem to be as a widespread, because, or maybe the club owners or promoters don't really appreciate. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it's
Mhm.
we definitely get the feedback about the originals.
The last show we played at Zen West, we got it was all original, and we got a lot of really good feedback from the audience and crowd and other bands and just everyone there. But it's tough. It ain't easy out there.
Mhm.
Really not. So that's why we like when we play Friday, we're going to be playing, and we'll mix half and half. Half
Mhm.
covers, half original. And because I feel like our originals are, I mean, on par with any cover tune that we play.
I think the better.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're.
Of course, we're gonna think that, but of course we're gonna think that because we wrote it. But
Yeah. Well, I think your originals are wonderful. I think they're great. I like the material that I've heard. I saw some things that you posted, which kind of maybe reach out to reconnect with you. I saw some stuff that you posted, and then whenever I see something, I always like to post it on the Fowl Players Radio page, just to let our listeners know that it's not just a one and done thing, and these guys are actually out doing things. It's not just that people are out there doing things. So anything that you'd ever want to send me, please let me know, and I'll be glad to pass the word along here. I'm always happy to do that.
I like to play on words too.
Yeah. Thank you. You know where I got that? That's actually the name of my murder mystery company. We're out of Perryville, and we are on the Susquehanna River. And if you know, like, the area around Havre de Grace, there's a million and one duck decoy museums up here. People are really into waterfowl. So we decided, fowl players, being on the river, we're actually called the Fowl Players of Perryville, and we go out, we do crazy murder mysteries. If you've ever seen the movie Clue, or if you ever played Clue, that's the kind of shows we put on. Yeah.
Right on. Is it like trying to think of the thing they used to do with when you would go to dinner and then they would have the
Murder Mystery Theater.
Is
Yeah.
it like the audience participation stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've heard about that.
We do, and I've got a good group of actors too. I've been very lucky with the people I've had. It's one of the things that playing in bands. If you have a band that gets along, you really got something. Because when you have a band that doesn't get along, it's like torture. And I'm sure that it's and
if you got the guy that can play well, and if you got the guy that's cool, go with the guy that's cool. Seriously,
right.
He can get better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
right.
way it works.
Well, I used to have the guys that never wanted to practice. The guy and the guys that never wanted to show up for rehearsal. I've had that to deal with over the years. But the thing is with this is that the thing I like about acting is that let's say if you did a play and if you didn't get along with the people in the cast, the run only lasts so long and you're done. And you don't have to. But I've been very, very lucky. I've got a great group of people that gets together well. I've had very little problems with people, and we have fun. We really have fun out there. And
so, is your background in theater? Is that where you started acting?
Actually, I played in bands. I was out playing in the 80s and 90s in hair bands around here. Fritz's Dynamite, Orange Seed Parade, did the Rage, the Network, Maxwell's.
Yeah, I know one place.
Got out of that for a while, came back, I did acoustic music, and then I kind of backed into it. I got into acting by accident, and I got asked to do some theater, and then people just kept asking me to do stuff, and then I ended up getting management, which I was like, holy cow. I figured as much as record companies tore me to shreds over the years, my wife is also an actress, and her manager wanted to see me. I'm 6'6", and I'm a big guy, and there is a market for us. It's very small, but it's there, And I figured
for a big guy.
Right.
Well, you get typecast a lot, right?
Yeah, well, the problem is like most actors are like 5'6". When I did Gotham, they were all up to my chest, and I'm so so my wife, got me this audition with their manager. And I was like, all right, here goes nothing. Somebody else in the industry is going to tear me a new one and spit me out and chew me up. But I ended up getting signed, and I was like, geez, okay. And
good chops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rich, I'm not a millionaire, but I have gotten some network stuff. I have gotten some commercials and some movies, and I mean, you just not yet. I'm eligible. I got my next SAG job. I get my SAG card. So that's kind of where I am right now. But I'd do another band. I mean, I still have we have like over 50 songs in the acoustic duo I was in. But I would like to do another electric one because of the way my electric band career, so to say, kind of ended. I just have unfinished business. You know what I mean?
Bad taste in your mouth, huh?
Yeah.
Want to go back? Yeah. It was tough, man. It was a tough market with playing originals.
Mm-hmm. You can never go home again, and I don't plan to go home again. But I just there's songs that are not acoustic songs in my head right now, and they're kind of kind of trying to work their way out. So that's probably the next thing I would do musically. But you know what? I love what I'm doing now. I love, and I appreciate guys like you being willing to come on and talk and kind of participate in the history of this scene because we've got so much history around here. Don't you agree?
Yes, sir.
I mean, Eric, Adam, is your drummer there? Is he just hiding in the back?
Not here yet.
Not here yet. Okay.
Some automotive problems.
Well, Karis, you snooze, you lose, babe. What can we say? You see what you could have had. You could have been on this show if you had been on time, my friend. You see, remember that.
He can walk in any second here. I don't even know.
I'm sure. Well, we'll make a
Okay.
grand entrance for him when he gets here. How about that? You know,
He does that all his own, but
yeah. But I mean, don't you? I mean, the Baltimore DC scene, especially in the 80s and early 90s, and even going back to the 70s, there was just so much great stuff going on here. You know, and that was really the intention of the show, was to capture that, you know, get together with the people that were there, tell the stories. You know, I recently had on the people that did the Hammerjacks, they call it the rockumentary. Um, that was real good. If you get a chance to see it, I highly recommend that you see it, because
Yeah, I've heard that floating around.
yeah,
is that on? Is that get that on a platform or what is how do you house?
it's on. If you go to, I've got the, gosh, I got the link. You can get it on Venmo. You can stream it on Venmo, or you can actually go to, get a DVD and a Blu-ray of it. But they were selling a package too, because they had like the soundtracks. They interviewed all these guys like Kix and Child's Play and Wrathchild, and they actually had a vinyl album soundtrack of it too coming out, which is really cool. I just ordered the DVD because I don't have anything to play vinyl on anymore. You know, I had it, but it broke, and you know, it's just so hard to get that stuff fixed. So but yeah, they really did a wonderful job. I mean, I felt like I was young again, you know, at Hammerjacks, the way they really put this together and all the memories they captured. And as it turns out, you know, I've had a lot of good people, a lot of good guests on, and I've had a lot of people not only from around here, but I've branched out. I've had people from Broadway, Phantom of the Opera cast. I've had people from Hollywood on here, and I've been blessed with this here. And you know, I'm not sweeping the nation. I'm not like, you know, Jay Leno or anything like that. But you know, I do have a good following, and I do get good compliments on the show. So
Got a great
I
radio
enjoy it.
voice.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I wish more people agreed with you. You know, you know, it's rough auditioning, man. That's the only thing too with this, is that um, unless you happen to be a huge star, you just don't go from one project to another. I mean, you know, it's kind of like you catch a fish, you reel a big one in, then you got to cast the line out again. You know, you got that fish, and now there's no guarantee of the next one, when it's coming or how much it's going to be or anything
Go
like
to a
that.
different pond and start fishing it.
That's right. That's right. You got to get out there. You just got to keep doing it. You know, that's really all you can do, and constantly taking classes and everything else here. So yeah,
Must be
so
doing something right with gigs, you know,
well,
with them gigs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um
obviously you got chops.
well, yeah. Yeah, did so you know, you've got your you've been doing some recording, and you're going to be doing some more of it coming up. You released some songs now. You have one album out now, right?
Yeah, we have one full length out that I think that's 7 or 8 songs from there, and we've been starting to record some singles now, because it kind of seems like singles are almost the way to go now. You know, if we want to talk about coming up in the 80s and 90s when we had albums, CDs, you know, you had to wait 2 years before you heard something else come out from your, you know, from the band.
Sometimes longer than that.
Sometimes longer. And when it did, and when their next album or full length or whatnot did come out, there may have been one song on there that was good, and the rest of it was filler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're like, So, you know, so we're trying to do singles and make each one of them, which, you know, if you ask me, I think each one of them is great, but but we're trying to have like no filler, you know what I mean? Each song stands on its own, and because you just never know. But we try to have each song just, you know, be a great singular release. And by spanning it out every 3 months or so, it keeps you a little more relevant in the scene. You know, it's a constant flow. On one of them, maybe it's dying down a little bit. Boom, hey, here's another one.
Keep feeding the box.
Yep, it's coming up and coming out, and it just keeps the name rolling off the tongue.
It's like casting that line.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I keep on fishing that same pond, and hopefully there's a little tributary somewhere that, you know, that catch another fish coming in or something. But
right.
But that's kind of where we are now. I don't know if there's really a benefit to releasing a full length anymore because people just buy singles.
That's true.
99 cents a song off of Spotify, or Apple Music, or
That's what they buy.
yeah, because our full length. And when I look on the Spotify or the Apple or the whatever, you can buy each song individually anyway. You don't have to buy the whole thing. Each one 99 cents. You buy the whole damn thing for $7. You know what I'm saying?
We just want somebody to put us on a playlist, and that way, that's how you generally apparently how you get like
so we're trying to strategize here a little bit and keep things just keep things rolling and it's like I say, we're just starting to kind of come back out of this out of this pandemic phase, and I think it's starting to roll a little more back. It's starting to roll again, but it really hurt, man. It really hurt a lot of things and a lot of people in so many different ways. I mean, here I am complaining about the music scene or whatever when there's many other people out there that lost their homes and their families and their lives and stuff. So what I say is kind of minimal when it comes to the music, but it did hurt lots and lots of things: jobs, music, entertainment, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Another thing you were just kind of mentioning about the singles. You mentioned and I've had some stuff out there too. Single 99 cents. I can remember back in the 70s when I was a kid saving my allowance to go up to the music store to buy a single because I couldn't afford an album back then. And albums were still like $10 then. And a single of 45 was like $1. So in over 40 years, almost 50 years, the price of that hasn't changed, but inflation and all that has. And also, too, I mean, I think if you look back at what bands got paid, if you did get paid back in the late 80s and early 90s versus now, if that hasn't changed, it's gone down, I think.
Yes.
It
has, man. And I mean, everything's digital, Back then you had your hands on that album, man, and you read it, you looked at it. It was a tangible item that other people saw and other people enjoyed and other people looked at. And your friends were over and everybody was hanging out. Maybe you were checking out the album cover and all that.
Reading the liner notes, reading the lyrics.
Yeah, but anymore you get your song or your CD. It gets lost inside of your phone somewhere. There's no tangible product. It's just some fly by night that and people have
forget about it.
Yeah,
it's the next thing. It's because it's easy to forget about something that you don't actually have to hold. It gets lost in your phone and all the other stuff that you're looking at. It's the music business is just going crazy. I mean, there's no product anymore. So all these executives are scrambling trying to figure out how they're going to keep making their money. And there's artists that had been living off of royalties and residuals, and that now they're like it's cut to like a tenth of what they were getting paid. And it's just no money. There's no money anymore. So it's all playlists. Spotify, don't even get me started on that. But they're look at their playlists. Most of those are Spotify artists. So it's you got to wonder. There's always agenda. There's always ulterior motive. People are bad. Money is usually what it's about. Just not a lot of it right now. Pretty soon they're going to give it away. I think is what they're saying. With art in general, they're just going to no one's going to buy music anymore. Because it's going to be given away. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see.
That's one thing I always make sure I do. Whenever I have somebody on, and they're promoting a book or an album or something, they always say, "Hey, look, we'll send you one." And I'm like, "No, I'm going to buy it from you."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I always do that, and I always insist on that too. I'll buy it off of you. I'm not going to go on and ask for freebies or anything like that. Of course, if you did that, I would thank you for it, but the words "thank you" don't put food on your table. So
it gets devalued because so many people are anxious to be heard. And you get a lot of it gets mucks up the works, that you get some marginal product, but you get people that are anxious to be heard, but they're not valuing themselves and the amount of time it took to master their craft, to learn, to organize a band and to rehearse. And I mean, it's a lot of time and investment. And just emotional investment when you put yourself out there playing originals. That's enough.
Mhm.
It's really you set yourself up for failure. And because like you said, everyone's a critic, and auditioning is not easy, and that's what you do every time you release a single. It's an audition.
It really is. It really is. You know, it is. So, well, guys, I appreciate you coming and spending some time with us here. It's good to see you again.
Yes, absolutely, sir.
It's good to see you again. What I will do is I will put links to your band website all in the show notes where you can buy your music. And guys, listeners, please, open your wallets up and give these guys some love here, man. They've got good material. I've heard it, and I can vouch for it. And if you're listening to me, I know that you trust me. So I've never led you wrong before. So make sure, and remember another thing too, and remember this as well. Not only now we're getting into spring, but remember it during the holidays. You can buy some nice albums and some nice books and some nice music from who we've got right in your own backyard.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So we highly appreciate it.
Yeah, so make sure you remember this, and I will make sure that I plug you all again, getting close to the holidays, to make sure people know that
absolutely, and we'd love to come back on with you and talk some more about, because I'm sure midsummer and into autumn there's going to be more going on, and we would really like to talk about some things going on in the fall and coming into the new year. Because it's going to be a lot. Now, I mean, we feel that we're a different kind of rock band, and people hear rock band, they're like, oh, it's that same old. But I don't think we are, man. It's we've got our own style, that's for sure. And you can almost kind of look at us and kind of see that we got our own style going on.
Right.
We march the beat of our own drummer. He's just not here.
Yeah.
And that's the beat we march by.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we've had Adam Crouse and Eric Redelius from Pillbox joining us tonight. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all next time. And again, look in the show notes for all their links. Make sure you get out and catch a Pillbox show, get out and buy some music, and we will see you all next time, folks. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Bud Becker, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Hey, Mary Jo Peel here, and you are listening to Fowl Players Radio.
This is Just Bill.
This is Rat Bastardson.
And this is Joe Poodle from Red Dye Number 9, and you are listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Hello, this is John Piet,
Kevin Schmidt,
and Jerry Bozick.
And we're August, a little band from Virginia. You can hear our story, other stories from the legendary Baltimore, D.C. music scene, and much, much more with Michael Spedden on Fowl Players Radio. You can find it at www.fowlplayersradio.com, on YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts online. Keep rocking.
Oh, Snowman here, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio. Wait, foul? That look fair. No, it's foul. It's Fowl Players Radio.
Hi, this is Kim of Kim's Crypt, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio.
This is A.D. Adams, and you are tuned in to Fowl Players Radio with your host, Michael Spedden.
Yeah, hi, this is David Simmons from DC Star, and I am just encouraging all of you to tune in to Michael Spedden's show on Fowl Players Radio and love the rock and roll of the past and the art of the future.
Hi, this is Paul Castiglia, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio, the one-stop shop for all your pop culture needs.
Hi, everybody. Dwight Weems from Gaz the Fun Band, and you're watching and listening to Fowl Players Radio.
Thank you all for tuning in and listening to our episode here with Pillbox. Pillbox, again, coming back after about a year or two. It's been a while since we've had them on the show. It was great to catch up with Adam and Eric. Just remember, fowlplayersradio.com, youtube.com/@fowlplayersradio, and all these other places where you can hear the podcast. I will also, again, post all the links to where you can get Pillbox's music and see their show dates and everything in the show notes. And again, thank you for tuning in. Remember, support local music. Give these guys some love. If you like what you hear when you hear their music, buy it. It makes a great addition to your collection. Folks, this is Michael Spedden, and we will see you next time on Foul Players Radio.